Grab your popcorn because this is going to be one fiery review. Let's have a fireside chat, shall we? Sorry guys, I had to hold the peace symbol because I don't feel very peaceful in this video. I feel far from peace. I feel like Amazon took advantage of us. Hopefully as a book influencer, one day I will be able to right this wrong. But for now, I highly recommend, please don't let Amazon fleece you. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Amazon Oasis, or rather grilling the Amazon Oasis. So let's step back and talk about who I am and who I am not. First of all, for those of you who haven't met me yet, I do apologize. I am Lisa of Troy, a book influencer. So I do quite a bit of reading. This year, I will easily surpass 100 books per year, and on a typical month, I typically read at least 5 audiobooks from Audible per month. That being said, I am the opposite of a tech person, a technical support. I'm not gonna go into really deep dive into specs and all that stuff. I am a normal person who likes books. That's the perspective that I'm bringing to this review. So it's not going to be super technical. It is not. So bear with me on that. So I read a lot. I was doing, for a long time, I was doing the clip-on reading lights. So one of these things, and it would work something like this. And it worked out pretty well, except I broke 2 cords in 1 week. That is thanks to sharing a computer with multiple people. So I said I need to explore some other alternative, and I was getting also ebooks and reading them on my phone, which was really quite small and not formatted correctly. So I asked my group of book influencer friends for a recommendation, which they came back. And I also asked my NetGalley friends, what do you read? What do you read your ebooks on? And the answer came back, the Kindle, the paperweight, but if you have the finances, go with the Amazon Oasis. So I just ordered the Amazon Oasis. I didn't think twice. Came in the mail. Here it is. This is the Amazon Oasis. And you may think, oh, this isn't that bad. Well, I'll tell you, we ordered this and we ordered this. We call this Barney. So in this review, if I refer to Barney, this is what this is. This is an Amazon Fire. This is the 10.1. This is the kids version. That's why this has this purple covering on it, and I also call it Barney. But this is the Amazon Fire, the 10.1, and this little guy is the Oasis. So right now, this cost $300. This costs $95 without the case. So if you get it without the case, they're both 32 gigs. This is $95. This is $300. So keep that in mind. So it arrives, and just based on the size, I can tell you out of the box, I was so disappointed. I first thought, of course, this one's mine, and instead, like, oh, this little baby one's yours. Great. So I turn it on. The first thing that you guys will notice is it's black and white. I'm like, are you kidding me? I paid $300 for this? Like black and white TV? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, we've got Barney over here, color for $95. So again, I kind of feel like I was a born sucker for buying this Oasis. So I always give a fair and honest review, even if it's brutal. So I will say the setup was super easy. One of the things that I highly recommend is ordering it off of your own account, because the checkbox is already marked unless you uncheck it. But when you order your Kindle, it's already linked to your Amazon device. So if you go in and you start ordering a bunch of things, it's linked right to your account. The setup's super easy. But the setup would be like the same on Barney. So, but I will say if you're just looking at the Amazon Oasis, it is super, super, super easy to set up because it's already linked to your Amazon account. But you want to be careful if you're getting a gift for somebody that you do not want to have that check mark checked, because then they can order a bunch of things and charge it back to your account. And you don't want to be getting the emails every time they order a book if they order a tremendous amount of books like I do. So I get this thing going. It can really do 3 things and only does one of them very well. So the first thing that this one has, it has Goodreads on it. And as you can see, again, it's all black and white. And it's super slow. And I know like almost nothing about computers, but RAM, it has 1 gigabyte. Barney, 2 gigabytes. This old computer from 3 or 4 years ago, 16 gigabytes. So I am a book influencer. I'm on Goodreads every single day. Every single day I am on Goodreads. And I usually am adding a bunch of friends and liking things and whatever. But it is so slow on this. My computer is just sitting out next to me. There's no way I would ever use this on Goodreads. I would just open up my computer and start adding the people that I want, because otherwise I'd spend an hour just adding a few people because it's so slow. It's so slow. So that's the one out of the 3 things this thing can do. The second thing, and I think it did this well, and it did this well up until the point that I would have overlooked the other flaws, except last night was like the straw that broke the camel's back. We'll get to that later. So I will show you some of the ebooks on the Amazon Kindle and some of the features that you can use, but those same features are on Barney, and I can show you both of them. Okay, so this is the Kindle Oasis. Some of the tips that I've learned, you can scroll in and out on the font size just by kind of moving your fingers so. And then if you wanted to, you can look up words. And so what you would do is you would just hold your finger and then drag the word. And then you would have a pop-up, you would have the dictionary, you have Wikipedia, then you have this type of translation. So that's one feature. Another feature, I see a lot of booktubers who take notes when they're reading. I always think that's such a great idea. Then I either forget to do it, or I don't have Post-it notes and pens, or I'm too tired and don't want to bother. So this is a really great way. You can just go like this and you highlight down, and then it does the highlight for you. You can also search. So there was a character that I wanted to know how they pronounce their name. And I wanted to say that they pronounced it Ray, R-A-Y. So I had typed in R-A-Y, and it came in and it displayed 2 search results, which made it a lot easier. So again, this is the Kindle Oasis. One of the unique things about this particular Kindle is that they have these physical buttons. So you can move the pages up and down with these buttons. Personally, I found this so extraordinarily confusing. I was either hitting this button and I want to go this way, or I was going this way and I want to go this way. It was just like, I could not handle it. The way that I always ended up doing the Kindle is just going like this and tapping and going like this, which flip it to the next page. This is the end of the book, so it's not advancing. But this is another example of how I never got the hang of these stupid buttons, and I would just end up tapping it anyways. So the ebooks themselves, I have no problem with on the Amazon Oasis. I was fine with the ebooks. However, it's almost the exact same story on Barney, the experience. The other thing, in my opinion, one of the only good things about There's two, I guess. One, this is water resistant. So if you drop it in the water, you're not supposed to like scuba dive down there or treat this like a GoPro or a waterproof watch. That's not this. When you get this and they say, oh, it's waterproof, when you drop it in the water, you're supposed to take it out, you're supposed to dry it. There's a whole bunch of procedures about leaving it off, unplugged and dry and all this other stuff. It's not like you're gonna go swimming with this. It's for accidental water damage. So, okay, well, I guess, is that worth 3 times Barney on this teeny puny screen? Well, not to me. I don't regularly read in the bathtub anyways, so that's not really a feature that I would be super excited about. I don't go and read this in my swimming pool. I'm not even sure it's safe based on the instructions because it sounded like there were a lot of parameters around the water resistance. The other thing, I think this has slightly more, and I need to check the technical term because I'm not a techie. Okay, so PPI on this is 300 pixels per inch. 300, this one, I believe, Barney is 226. But okay, guys, this is black and white. There's nothing like dramatic color, deep, rich colors. Like, it's black and white. Who cares about the PPI? Like, where you want that is on Barney. So, like, I don't even know if that would count as like a check in the Oasis box because, like, I don't see the value. Now we're going to talk about the third thing that I really didn't even test out very much, and I'll tell you why. So this one, this $300 guy, because I'm going to keep going back to that because I feel like this is like it is so bad it's almost a scam in my opinion. So this one is $300. And like I say, I buy at least five Audible audiobooks every month from Amazon. So I'm one of their biggest customers. And in addition to buying the 5 audiobooks, I follow along because one of the best ways to increase your vocabulary and make a memory, you need more sensory experiences. In addition to hearing it, you need to see it. Especially if you're trying to build up and use words that you normally don't use. You need to feel comfortable using them, recognizing them, seeing them, hearing them. So I need that multi-sensory experience. So again, I'm a very good Amazon customer because I buy the book twice. I buy it once for the audiobook and then I'll buy it again and usually in the printed copy, but I've been doing the ebooks lately. So I bought this because obviously I'm a very serious reader. I read over 100 books a year. I'm a book influencer. This should have been a no-brainer. Well, guess what, guys? Reading an audiobook and an ebook at the same time, they call that immersion reading. Immersion reading. It's an immersive experience, I guess. So immersive that they don't support this. That's right, you cannot listen to an audiobook and read an ebook at the same time. And you think that cannot be true. This is a dedicated reader, by the way. By the way, this is all you can do. All you can do. You cannot surf the web. You can't check email. You can't do Netflix on this. It doesn't do it. Barney will. Of course, Barney will do anything you want. Barney will go on Netflix. Barney will do all that stuff. This one will not. So you would think this is marketed towards the serious reader. Oh, like a book influencer like me who actually does immersion reading? Yeah, and I asked Amazon because I thought, oh my gosh, this can't be true. It can't be true. How could it be true? I thought, like I said, I'm not a technical person. That has to be a setting. There has to be something I'm doing wrong. And Amazon came back saying it is not supported. It's only supported on the Fire, and it's supported on the Kindle, on iOS, and on Apple. So if you want to listen to your Audible books and read, which I highly recommend, but granted, if you're just doing any reading, like, kudos to you. But for me, I am always going to do immersion reading whenever possible. I am investing my time, a significant portion of my time, and every time the audiobook is available to me, I'm going to listen to it, and then I'm going to follow along in the book every single time. So this, I'm like, I was furious. I called Amazon up and I said, flash my software, flash this. Like, this is $300. This is $95. Why does this have better performance than this? Like, flash my software and make it do both. And they're like, oh, the only thing we can do is offer you a refund. So I'm sorry. I thought I was trying to be a good book influencer and at least start the conversation with Amazon to flash this and have it do both, but they won't. They'll just offer me a refund. So I'm sending this back because it does not meet my needs at all. I feel like I got ripped off and I'm gonna send it back. The other thing I'll tell you about while we're talking about getting ripped off, so this will do the Audible books, allegedly, because I don't think I ever got it working. This has no speakers, guys. So if you want to listen to Audible, what you have to do is you need to get a Bluetooth device headset, and then you can stream this to your Bluetooth headset. That's what you get for $300. For $95, you get speakers in this. So if you want to listen and you don't want to have headphones in your ears the whole time, just buy Barney for $95. The other downsides to this, again, we're going to talk about how you're getting ripped off. Don't buy this. The most storage that you can get on this, it's 32 gigs. This, you can get up to 64, and there's slots that you can add. I believe it's up to 500 gigs after you buy this. Like, if you have a micro disc, you can throw this in here and you can have even more storage. This, you're maxed out at 32 gigs. The other thing, they keep saying about this, at least on their website, they say, you get such great battery life. Weeks of battery. Okay, I never saw that. I thought maybe this was broken because I started it up, I used it, and I'm like, 50% battery. How does anybody get this? Weeks. So I looked at the fine print and it said if you use this for half an hour a day and under certain conditions, it can last for weeks. So I'm like, okay, well, I never read. I would struggle to remember the last time I only read a half an hour a day and no more. But last night I plugged it in. I always plug it in when I'm not using it. So I plugged it in and I got it off the cradle and I used it for exactly half an hour. Because if I say I'm only going to read for 5 minutes, like, it'll be 45 minutes later and then everybody's mad at me. So I put a timer on for 30 minutes and when it went off, I pulled this off. So exactly 30 minutes and it was down 8%. So yes, this could last me, giving this every benefit of the doubt, like saying this isn't going to take any battery in between my charges. Yes, this could last me 12 days. I mean, Amazon is spinning just such a great web of lies. I guess they could round it up to 2 weeks. But, I mean, come on, right? I mean, and then Barney, so if you think, the battery, it's better on the other one. This, they say up to 12 hours. Which, okay, well, I read on this one time for probably maybe 3-4 hours, and this was 50% depleted. So I don't trust what Amazon has listed out there, just FYI, but I certainly would not hesitate to pick up Barney over this. So there are also additional features on Barney. And again, this is just going to be standard with the Amazon Fire, the 10.1. It also has a camera, both front and back. It also has connectivity with the internet. So again, if you want to do Netflix, if you want to do other things on here, browse the web, you can do that. You can't do that on this one. This is a comparison between the Amazon Oasis, this one, and then this is what I call Barney. This is the Amazon The Fire 10.1. This is the kids version, but you can just buy the regular one without the purple case on it for 95 bucks. This is $300. For now, I highly recommend, please don't let Amazon fleece you. I do not recommend buying the Amazon Oasis. Of course, you're free to do whatever you want. But if you ever want to do immersion reading, it will not support it. It doesn't have any of the features. It doesn't have a lot of the features that the Kindle Fire has on it. And it costs 3 times as much the money. So it doesn't make sense. You pay more for getting a lot less. It doesn't make sense. Especially for if you're really into reading, if you're trying to buy a dedicated e-reader, you should be able to do immersion reading. It doesn't support it. They're not going to flash your system. You're just going to be left without being able to have those capabilities. So I highly recommend getting the Barney or your version of Barney, or save yourself the headache and stick with this light. If you believe that books create ideas and ideas change the world, let's change the world one book at a time. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm Lisa of Troy. Peace. P.S. The returns process with Amazon has been a complete nightmare, and I've spent more than an hour and it's still screwed up. Enjoy.